Right, it's time for business, and Sandra is here. Hello, Sandra.
I go. Absa Bank is here.
So Barclays is not Absa.
Exactly. We'll be talking about that. And the news is that from next year, it may be difficult for people who want to avoid paying taxes to do so because the system is going to change.
All right.
And I'll be telling you more about that in business. Celebrating 25 years of joy, I am Sandra Esinamap and I'm here for business. The National Identification Card will become the main source of tax identification. This is expected to happen after the Ghana Revenue Authority completes merging existing national ID numbers and the tax identification number by the end of this year. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia disclosed this at the rebranding of Barclays Bank to Absa Ghana. George Viafe was there for Joy Business and has the rest of the story.
After months of talk, commercials, interviews, the press releases, and the commercials, Absa is now here with us at an event today graced by Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, the Group Chief Executive of Absa, and the Managing Director of Absa Ghana. They all highlighted what we should expect, now that Barclays Ghana has been rebranded at Absa. The Vice President in his speech talked about the fact that very soon the national ID that you hold will be used as a tax identification number.
Currently, less than 2 million people are registered to pay taxes. But by the end of this year, we will start converting all the national ID numbers into tax identification numbers, which means we will increase the number of people registered for taxes de facto from about 2 million to close to 16 million in 1 year.
The Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, was also full of praise for Absa in terms of being the industry first with a lot of things that have taken place in the banking industry. One can talk about meeting the minimum capital requirement and even the new vertical debit cards and credit cards that are yet to be introduced in the country.
Today, February 10, 2020, another landmark, as Absa becomes the first bank to introduce vertical debit and credit cards to enhance the functionality of scheme cards in Ghana.
The Group Chief Executive of Absa also talked about how Ghana can be described as a favorable investment destination. He said this is testament to actually the recent Eurobond that was subscribed by investors across the world.
Backed by our asset base of around $90 billion, Absa seeks to contribute to Ghana and Africa's economic transformation. Our commitment includes investing in initiatives that support financial inclusion for African citizens, financing African exporters through trade finance, contributing to infrastructure financing initiatives, and general advisory services that we provide to both the private and the public sector.
For the Managing Director of Absa Ghana, Abna Seopoku, she says that they will continue to support small and medium-sized enterprise as they devote a significant part of their loan book to those small businesses out there.
We've had discussions around how they prepare their bench strength, how they groom their children and successors. We support them on how to better manage their books. So we're looking at it more broadly, because as a bank, to your point, yes, we have been supporting SMEs, but we're just taking it to the next level.
So you've heard them, from the Group Chief Executive to the Managing Director and the Directors of Communications and Brand Change, about us promising customers, the general public, and even you and I, about improved service offerings. But would they indeed live up to this? We are watching the market space to see what Absa would bring to the banking space. My name is George Viafe reporting for Joy Business.
Thanks so much, George Viafe, for that report. Now, South African diplomat Wamkele Mene has been elected as first Secretary General of the African Continental Free Trade Secretariat. So who is he? Here's a short profile for you. Wamkele Mene is South Africa's former head of mission to the World Trade Organization. The 40-year-old was elected from the 3 shortlisted candidates that were presented to the heads of states of the African Union prior to the 33rd Ordinary Session in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Mene was the chief negotiator of South Africa when the negotiations on the Continental Free Trade Agreement began 2 years ago. As part of his assignment, He will lead the administrative process of the Secretariat and also manage the Secretariat for smooth implementation of the most ambitious trade agreements in Africa. He is expected to begin work in Accra next month prior to the full implementation of the program. Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo says government has begun talks with real estate firms to provide residential accommodation for staff of the Continental Free Trade Secretariat. The move, according to him, is part of commitment to ensure requirements agreed with the African Union are provided before full implementation. The president was speaking at the 33rd Ordinary Session of the African Union Heads of State in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
As you know, on the 7th of July 2019, at the extraordinary meeting of the Assembly of the African Union in Niamey, capital of the Republic of Niger, Ghana was honored with the historic responsibility of hosting the Secretariat of the AFCFTA. We were directed to work with the AU Commission to ensure an expeditious and efficient process of establishing a permanent Secretariat for the AFCFTA in Accra by the 31st of March this year. To this end, Ghana has undertaken the following activities, which I would like to state for the record. Firstly, the reconfiguration of the office premises based on the specific requirements agreed with the AU Commission, including the installation of critical data and IT infrastructure facilities, security systems, office furnishing, and corporate branding of the AFCFTA office complex. Secondly, the acquisition and furnishing of the residence of the Secretary General of AFCFTA, based on the requirements agreed with the AU Commission. Thirdly, the initiation of negotiations with real estate companies for residential accommodation for other AFCFTA staff. Fourthly, the finalization of arrangements of health and educational facilities for AFCFTA management and staff. And finally, securing a dedicated booth at the Kotoka International Airport, Accra, to facilitate entry and exit requirements of AFCFTA officials, as well as representatives of member states who will be conducting official business with the Secretariat. In addition, the government of Ghana sponsored 6 different meetings of the AFCFTA in December 2019 in Accra.
That's all for the first part of business. My name is Sandra Esenam. I'm back.